Today I'd like to tie for you Eric's Black Pearl. The hook I have in the vise is a 5262. This is a size 12. This is a nymph streamer hook. It is 2 extra long, 2 extra heavy, from Green Caddis Outfitters, greencaddis.com. We're going to start with 15 thousandths lead wire or lead free wire. And we're going to put it on the thorax section. Which is the front section. And pull that off. Push that all together. And pull that off. We're going to use black thread, and I'm going to start with UTC 210. This is a heavy thread. And I'm going to start behind the eye. And I'm going to secure the lead wraps. And we're going to bring this to the rear, right about where the barb hangs. And we'll remove the excess. We're going to start with the tail, and for the tail we're going to use black goose biots. And just fold them and get those apart, and I grab the two on the end and pull them off, and you get a nice removal. And I'm going to use the natural curve in the biot to help me divide them. And we want these tails to be maybe 3/4 the length of the body. We're going to tie them in. I'm going to tie one on my side first. Get one in back of that tail, help divide that a little bit more. So you get them to stay on the side. I'm going to take the other one and just measure that up to the first one. And we can tie that in. And I'm going to wrap all that right up forward. And we can use that excess goose biot to cover the holes or the slits in the lead wire. I use this thick thread to quickly cover the hook. I spun my thread counterclockwise to get it to lay flat. I'm going to, there I need to spin it again. I'm going to taper the body from the rear. I actually have to spin this one the other way a little bit. There we go. We're going to use that thread to put a taper on there. I'm going to take the thread to the back all the way. I'm going to tie in the body material. The abdomen is going to be strip peacock wool. And I'm going to tie that in. And the rib is going to be a black crystal flash. I'm going to tie that in. And it's okay if it goes over to the opposite side. And I'm going to wind everything forward and level out that taper. not level it out, but make that taper. You can see it's a little bit get that thread flat, line back, come forward. And one more time. I'm going to tie this off at the front. Take my whip finish and just give it a couple turn whip finish. And I'm going to switch to, here's 6/0, this is 70 denier. You just want that heavy thread for the making the taper. I'm going to bring it back to the top of the abdomen, and I can remove the excess. Now I'm going to wrap the peacock herl. I'm going to wrap this, and I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between. And I'm not using glue or head cement on the underneath the peacock herl because I'm going to plan on an epoxy in the body. You leave them spaces, palmered spaces, and we're going to wrap the rib in between the peacock herl. We come up and we're going to tie that off before we lose it. It's getting short. And we're just going to trim off the excess. Now I'm going to take that black crystal flash, it's almost a green, and I'm going to wrap that up between the peacock herl. And when I reach the top, I'm going to tie that off. And we can remove the excess. Now I'm going to take my DeerCreek Diamond Fine UV resin, and I'm going to put just a little bit on there. I'm going to take my bodkin needle and I'm going to bring it around. Now I'm going to take my UV light and cure that all the way around. Just 3 seconds is all you need on there, but I like to use it longer. There we go. For our wing case, I'm going to use black crystal flash on top of black turkey tail tip. So I'm going to tie the crystal flash in first. Then we're going to take our turkey tail tip and we're going to tie that in. And we're going to remove the excess. And we're going to tie that down. Make sure we bring that thread back to the abdomen. There we go. Now for the abdomen, I'm going to use DeerCreek Northern Lights Super Select Seal Fur. First going to put some wax on my thread. And we're going to put a liberal amount of the seal fur on the thread, dub it on. Because we're going to tease this out for the legs, just as I did on the Jim Stone. And we're going to see how much that will give us for now. You can see seal fur is not easy to dub. You can use Antron or any kind of black dubbing you'd like, as long as you can tease it out. I would suggest Antron or seal fur because it's stronger when you tease it out for the legs. They'll stay there longer. I'm going to put just a little bit more on there. Give it quickly to the back and bring it to that front. Oh, let's pull this back more. That thread a good eye length from the eye of that hook. Then we'll take our turkey and crystal flash and fold that over. You want to have the thread back far enough that you get a couple of wraps holding it down, and then you want to get a couple of wraps in front so it doesn't crowd the eye. So we'll get a couple of wraps in front, and we'll keep that from crowding the eye. Then we can trim it. And clean up that head. Take our whip finisher, give it a whip finish. Now we're going to put epoxy on the wing case. Take my Diamond Fine once again. Put some on there, and I'm going to use my dubbing needle to spread that out. And I'm going to bring that right down onto the head for the head cement. And that's soaked in pretty good, but that's okay. We're going to take our light and cure that. Now I'm going to take my piece of Velcro and tease out the seal fur to the sides. And it's going to pull out pretty big, but we're going to trim them down. Squeeze them, pull them off to the sides for legs. And then we can trim those long ones off there. And the same with the closed side. And here we have the black pearl. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.